for starting your week with us. Hello and welcome to Business Daily. I'm your host, Yulhyeon. Let's see what we have lined up for you this morning. Ever wondered why the prices of foreign brands are so much higher in Korea than in other countries? We take a closer look at why. Korea boasts the fastest internet speed in the world, but things are not always smooth, with pockets of disruption becoming a nuisance. These stories and more coming right up. The Korean government is strengthening its monitoring on the Greece debt crisis as the European Central Bank announced earlier that it will not be increasing emergency funding to Greek banks. The Ministry of Strategy and Finance said financial bodies here in Korea will hold a macroeconomic policy meeting on Monday to draw up countermeasures, as now the threat of a Greek default is more real than ever before. Greece's Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras announced on Sunday that the country's banks and stock exchange will be closed on Monday and capital controls imposed, as Greeks have been rushing to ATMs to withdraw their money. Korea's report card on economic growth over the past decade has shown relatively good results among member countries of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. According to a study released by the OECD, Korea placed 6th out of 34 countries, posting an average 3.7% annual expansion between 2005 and 2014. The average of all 34 members stood at 1.5%, with Chile ranking first and Israel and Poland following. While growth figures of many top-performing countries were crimped after the 2008 global financial crisis, Korea maintained relative stability. More Koreans are borrowing from the bank, as the country's outstanding household loans in May have climbed by $6.5 billion a month. This is according to the Financial Supervisory Service, which attributed the increase in loans to the record low key interest rate, which has encouraged more households to buy homes. The total level of household debt now stands at roughly $477 billion. However, the margin of increase in household debt last month posted a slight decrease from the month of April. The digging for Korea's longest tunnel wrapped up just last week, and with this comes greater anticipation for the new high-speed railway that will zip through it. Our Lee Joo-young has the story.
Go 50 meters underground, and you can see this tunnel that's stretched out on both ends. It's so long, it's almost impossible to see the end. In fact, the 50-kilometer Yulhyeon Tunnel is the longest in Korea and the third longest in the world. The digging for this project came to an end last Wednesday after 3.5 years. The tunnel, which stretches from Susa Station in southeast Seoul to Jijie Station in Gyeonggi-do Province, is where trains for the new Susa high-speed railway will pass through. It covers 83% of the total length of the new high-speed railway. It then meets at a junction with the existing Gyeongbu high-speed railway, allowing passengers to reach the southern port city of Busan in only about an hour and a half, cutting down on their travel time by almost an hour.
Please exercise caution during the remaining construction period to ensure there are no safety accidents until everything is completed.
The government says that now, with the tunnel completely dug through, the grand opening of Susa high-speed railway will gain speed. Plans are to open the railway sometimes in the first half of next year, which will cut down on travel time and add further convenience for future passengers. Lee Joo-young, Business Daily.
Many foreign visitors express amazement when they see how well-connected Seoul is in terms of broadband connections. But ironically, better connections and more wireless options for mobile phones have been dragging down services in some parts. Our Eunice Kim explains.
It's no secret mobile users in Korea are pretty much connected anywhere and everywhere, be it above ground or underground. Thanks to Wi-Fi networks installed by the country's mobile carriers since 2010, browsing online on commutes has become second nature. But this matter of course is running into some disruptions. Measuring the wireless speed using a smartphone application, we quickly learned that it drops to a quarter of its original speed when the train fills up. Occasionally, it simply drops, inviting frustration.
If that happens, I just switch off the Wi-Fi and use my LTE.
I think everyone knows that frustration well. Better off not using it at all.
Although internet speeds are promoted as being lightning fast, it's not only wireless connectivity, but also basic phone reception that's patchy in parts. This is Bukhansan Mountain, visited by over 7 million hikers last year.
아예 신호가 안 가는 거네요?
예, 연결음 자체가.
It's difficult to get a connection after a 20-minute climb, and even when we do, the reception is spotty. In a yearly government survey of telecommunications service quality, it found hiking trails to be among the areas with the worst connectivity, with at least one dropped call out of 10. This has become a problem in the case of accidents. Mobile internet speeds have already surpassed fixed internet speeds. Recording a 10-fold jump in the past 5 years, it's projected to grow 20-fold in the next 5 years with the advent of 5G. But in order for the full effect of the technology to be enjoyed, telecom companies will also need to guarantee that service quality, too, keeps up. Eunice Kim, Business Daily.
You know that most goods are more expensive when they're sold outside of their country of origin, with taxes and shipping charges inevitably raising the price tag. But recent surveys have shown that prices for some goods are even higher here in Korea than anywhere else in the world. To tell us why this is so, we're now joined by our Kim Min-ji in the studio. Welcome, Min-ji.
Hi, Ji-yoon. So prices of some goods in Korea far exceed that of other countries. In some cases, they're like double the prices that you would find in the country of origin. So they're being disguised as upscale products in Korea, whereas they would be considered average products in their home country. So I took a look at why certain items are so expensive in Korea and whether consumers here are bearing the brunt of unfair marketing tactics.
Zara is one of the most popular fast fashion brands here in Korea. Its clothing is loved for high quality, modern style, and relatively low prices. But as affordable as it may be, a recent study showed that Koreans are actually paying a lot more than customers in other countries. In a survey comparing some 7,000 items on websites in 14 major countries, with Spain serving as the base with a score of 100, Zara products in Korea were priced 96% higher than in the country of origin. IKEA has also been at the center of controversy after a survey showed that its products are priced higher in Korea than in the US, Germany, and Japan. The poll compared over 100 sofas and storage units on the Swedish furniture makers' websites in each of the countries. The result? The average cost of the products was $476 in Korea, $85 more than the average cost in neighboring Japan. So why are things so particularly expensive in Korea?
It's true there's a higher pricing structure in Korea, but it's also due to the monopolistic structure of distribution channels. Korean outlets are also responsible for the greater initial expenses that go into everything from marketing to infrastructure to raise awareness of foreign brands.
In addition, Korean consumers have a tendency to prefer goods with higher price tags, so the demand has also been keeping prices up.
I think prices are set higher because Koreans believe that expensive goods are of better quality. I'm against this, so I don't buy clothes from such brands.
Koreans tend to care about what others think, so they buy items even if they're expensive. I think this is what's keeping prices up in Korea.
It's a vicious cycle. I know prices are lower overseas, but it's not like I can go abroad every now and then.
Experts say there is a need for measures aimed at rooting out such unfair pricing strategies.
Distribution channels need to be diversified, and more needs to be done to promote parallel imports and direct purchasing. Consumer agencies also need to provide consumers with information on prices so they can compare and make their purchases accordingly.
You know, Minji, I knew Koreans were paying more, but not this much more.
Well, the high mark was especially prevalent in goods that was over 100,000 or 90 US dollars for IKEA.
All right, do you have any other examples than IKEA?
Well, Pizza Hut is another example. If you go onto their online website in Korea, the pizza prices are about $5 more expensive that you find on the English version in Korea.
$5.
So basically, they're charging Koreans more than English-speaking consumers. And as you may have already heard, an Americano at Starbucks is about $4 in Korea, which is about $1 more than the US. So, and it's also the 6th most expensive in the world.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, what are the companies saying about this?
Well, Pizza Hut says their prices differ because people have different tastes. So foreigners prefer different pizzas, so they have sales promotions accordingly. And as for Zara, they refuse to comment on the matter, just saying that the headquarters in Spain sets the prices and that it can vary according to the conditions of the market in question. And Starbucks says that its stores charges more in Korea due to facility prices or facility rental prices, as well as labor costs. But consumers aren't buying that excuse because obviously the same can be applied to New York, whereas the prices are still not as high
as here in Korea. And I also hear that many smart consumers are already finding other means to buy these foreign products that are more expensive here in Korea.
Yes, so many consumers are not trusting the prices that are put out by retailers, obviously due to these reports. So they are turning to direct purchasing by purchasing the things directly from the company's websites. So that's given way to sites that carry out the whole process for you. And the market for direct purchasing has grown more than threefold in 3 years to roughly $1.8 billion as of last year. And given the latest technological advancements, experts are also calling on consumers to actively join in the process by searching and comparing prices so they can buy things at reasonable prices.
Well, maybe these smart consumers will be able to skirt these high prices to hopefully change the system altogether.
That's right.
Thank you so much for coming in today, Minji.
Sure thing.
And that wraps it up for today. We'll be back tomorrow with more, so don't forget to tune in then. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.